Sorry. What was that about the finale?
I'm sitting here and we talked about it before the season and it was like, hey, what's the perfect season length? And like 15 episodes is like kind of pushing it. Like I feel like that's like the range, like 12 to 15 episodes is like a perfect season. But obviously that's not realistic anymore. And it just looks like we're going to get 16 with 6 teams, we're going to get 17 with 5 teams, and then we're going to get a two-part final. And then we're going to get a two-part reunion. So we're going to have 21 total episodes and this is what it feels like. Which like
Long.
spanning 4 months is just it's too long.
It is too long.
Like I
Absolutely
think
too.
episode 1 and the finale, like the reunion, should cap off a 3 month run, and that's more than enough.
I'm
That's me.
inclined to agree. It don't even got to be that. But let me go ahead and kick it off. What's really good, pastors? Welcome to another episode of Love, War, Challenges. I am MTV Malik. He is Tyler Louder. In today's episode, we have a new elimination king. Aviv doesn't exactly earn the trust of everybody else, and the challenge cruise went the way that everybody probably thought it was going to go, except for the people who bought tickets. But first, we've been gone for a couple of weeks and we need to catch up. Tyler, take it away.
Yeah, so a lot of crazy things that have happened, and we've just kind of, hey, let's just rest, let's relax, let's just wait till next week and everything. This guy over here wasn't feeling the best and everything either. He's back in action, good to go.
No, it was the absolute worst. I never get sick.
So a couple weeks ago, big things to kind of take away from this is the fact that elimination was kind of meh for Leroy and America versus Adrian and Thea. When you get puzzles like that, it's a little difficult. I did like the twist on the puzzle where you only have seconds to kind of work on it. Honestly, in my opinion, Leroy kind of said it himself, but his time was kind of his clock was ticking on this season. I'm surprised he made it as long as he did. He's a likable guy, so that's kind of why. I'm kind of surprised that teams didn't just. I mean, I know they got last place, but I wonder if teams were like saving them for the final. Like if they looked at them as a layup and they were trying to bring that fourth team, because literally their name is not even brought up until they get last place.
No,
So
100%. And I thought they had a really good shot. I thought the daily would have really kind of worked to the. I mean, I'm sorry, the elimination would have worked to their favor a little bit. Really disappointed how they ended that daily. I've come to really enjoy America, and I see that for some reason she has earned the ire of Johnny Bananas and some of the fans, and I just don't kind of get it. I liked her on the show. I thought
I didn't mind her.
I didn't mind her at all. I thought she was cool. Probably make a good addition for the future. But Leroy once again continues his streak of not getting a challenge championship. And even though I would say his performance would probably be better than Anissa's, he's kind of the male Anissa when it comes to I've been here for this long, and um and I don't have a championship. And 90's right there with him.
Yeah, I think that ship has passed. I think Double Agents was his last real shot. To be honest, just with how good of a game he played, I don't think we're ever going to see Leroy win a championship. If he ever comes back, I think it's just if you're a betting person, it's an easy person not to put money on from here on out. He'll make it far. I actually think he's a worse performer than Anissa because Anissa consistently will finish in top threes and dailies still, even though people
Anissa,
doubt her.
you know, up until this latest episode, Anissa has actually been her and her team has been performing actually pretty well.
I mean, they she didn't get last place like I think this entire season, like at all. So if you look at that, I mean, she was consistently performing well, and she was one of like we'll get to today's episode soon, but yeah. So then let's move on to episode 14. We go through our daily rune race. Cedric and Michaela get the win. Ashley and Leo get last place. And then Sydney and Turbo get voted in because of a coin toss. And so I know we're kind of going to talk about this episode, but I wanted to bring it up because everybody I kind of saw was like shitting on Theo for saying like, oh, he's playing a dirty game, he's doing this. But really what I saw is that Theo gave Nani an option. Do you value Turbo or do you value Aviv? And that's all it was.
So I'm not mad at the move. He's already at that point. He's already been thrown in like 3 times.
Yep.
You got to start trying some new things. I'm not mad at the move at all. I don't think the move had any chance of actually working out in his favor because they could just
No.
switch, because like Manny said, we can just switch targets. You want to go against a girl, so it was never going to work. I do enjoy the fact that he was there trying to shake stuff up. It shows why he tends to be really, really good TV.
Hmm.
I thought Nani took that a little personally. I don't think she should have. I think he just had to jump on the opportunity. Unfortunately, it was Nani. I thought she did take it a bit personally, but I think Nani's been there for a long time. She's out of one relationship, kind of starting a new situationship. I
Yeah.
think I think Nani's might be a little stressed out, which is why we're getting the reaction that we see. But I'm not mad at the move at all. I don't think Nani should have been too mad about it either.
No.
I think she handled it exactly as well as she could have. It's like, what are you doing? What if you really want to put our backs to the wall, how about we're sending your girlfriend? So that was exactly the right thing, and it didn't work. It's still good TV, and I enjoyed watching it though.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, Turbo still went in. Turbo, the coin toss didn't matter who they voted for Theo or Olivia. Turbo went in because that coin toss, and they ended up staying. But Ashley and Leo go home. From from my perspective, because we see in this next episode that they're already kind of like, Vive, we don't know if we should trust her. Well, an episode ago, you trusted her so much that you were willing to let your number one potentially go home. Like you were okay with that. So that's where it doesn't weigh. And I think Theo's move it's not just strategic, it shows the game because he's kind of showing to himself, he's like, well, no, you're not going to vote in Olivia. You're going to vote in me. I'm going to go in because he has her back, which we're going to talk about in this episode because I think it has something to do with them getting last place. But yeah, anyways, Ashley and Leo end up going home. Sydney and Turbo win Weigh Me Up. Pretty lame elimination when only one person really has to do anything and the other person just kind of sits there. We've seen that a couple times this season. I don't like it. Both people
Not a
need to be
fan
doing
either.
something. Like, it needs to
100%.
be two. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're gonna have a team thing, team eliminations, team dailies, the whole team has to be involved because it feels a little cheap and it just doesn't come off great. It doesn't come off as good TV, and us challenge fans hate feeling like we're being cheated out of something.
Yeah, and if it needs to be two different tasks, they need to be equally difficult tasks that the team has to make a decision. Who's best for each thing? Like that it can't just be, oh, well, if you do this, you're going to do 99% of the work, so you're better than me. You go do it. So yeah, and then Ashley and Leo end up going home, cutting down numbers, and we see this whole strategy of which we're going to talk about in this episode of winning and losing is the only thing you don't want to do, and if you sit in the middle, you're going to control everything.
Absolutely. But you know what? I want to start off at the end and talk about this elimination. Theo and Adrian find themselves coming back after their fourth elimination win this season in a game called
Yes.
Loose Ends. Loose Ends, you got two spools of heavy cable, you got to untangle them, and you got to put three plugs around the contact point. You got to wrap around the contact point and plug them in. When it comes to elimination wins in a single season, the magic number is 5, shared by 3
Mm-hmm.
contestants. Originally set by Sarah Grayson, then Wes, then Horacio. How significant is this
Wes and
fourth?
Casey.
Oh, Wes and Casey.
Wes
My
and
fault.
Casey.
Oh, yeah, you're right. My apologies. Kate, Wes and Casey and Horacio. How significant is this fourth elimination win for Theo and Adrian? I can't
It's
believe I
so
forgot
it's real.
Casey. So
It's really
amateur.
significant. It's really significant in the terms of just like having a better elimination record, in the terms of sending home teams and showing how good you are. It's a negative thing because you continue to find yourself in this position. The best challengers will find their ways. CT in Spies, Lies, and Allies. Like you can just find a way to never have to touch the sand, still get there and win the money. Like, Wes and CT on Rivals 2. Like there are certain teams that if you just don't touch the sand, like you're good. And you can win, and those are the best seasons because that's the way the game's supposed to be played. It's not as entertaining for us fans because if you build a story, I mean, there's literally a whole generation of people that love the challenge because of Derek Krasinski, because he had to constantly fight. We're people are fans of Kara. Maybe it's kind of turning the tides now and everything, but people were a really big fan of Kara because she was always getting thrown in. That's kind of why people are a fan of Wes, always thrown in. But if to get thrown in means you're doing something wrong. Now, granted, I will say, winning 4 is awesome. If they can win 5, that's fantastic. I don't think they'll win 6 because I think either we have 1 elimination left and then 5 teams are in the final, somebody gets cut early, or we do have 2 eliminations, but the odds of them being in both of them, I think, is pretty rare.
Yeah, I don't think 6 is going to be really on the board, but I think 5 is certainly in their sights. But the 5 wins, the 5 elimination wins of this season, you're right, it's not a good thing. It means you're messing up somewhere. You don't have trust, you're an easy target, or you just suck. It's not really a good sign. It's a good sign it is a good sign to show how resilient you can be.
Yeah.
With Sarah Grayson, it was definitely something really, really special because it seemed like she was getting picked on.
Yep.
Nobody believed in her. She was doubted all season, and she crushed them the whole entire time. And that was something. For Theo, it doesn't really quite feel the same. It feels like you might have put yourself in this position a little bit, and especially with how you align with. Plus, you got such a big mouth and you keep making chaos. It's easy to keep saying your name.
He's doing it on purpose, though. He 100%. His goal, like he wants to do well, and he wants to make a final. And he
also wants to protect Olivia.
He wants to protect Olivia. So as long as everybody's looking at him, they're not looking at her, and we commend him for that.
And I think it's working.
I
think it's working very, very well because Olivia was the number 1 target for a little bit when everybody had the shot, and she found herself thrown into elimination. So
episode 6. That was almost 10 episodes ago. That was the last time she was even considered as a target. Ever since then, she hasn't even been thought of as a target because Theo's running his mouth. So it's like, you know what? You're not only playing your game and trying to win for yourself, but you are also willing to risk your game for someone else. And I think
also her performance
strong.
has been off a little bit. So once everybody got locked into their partners, it was she was a lot less scary at that point.
Sure.
Speaking of scary, I want to move on to Sydney versus Turbo. So exactly. On Bananas podcast, the subject of Sydney and Turbo's controlling behavior came up. Allegedly, Turbo told Sydney she shouldn't call home or her boyfriend. Sydney name drops Tamara, who came in as Turbo's girlfriend, even though she had a boyfriend, and claimed that Turbo ignored personal boundaries and was possessive and controlling. She called him a little man, which I thought was hilarious. It seems like Sydney's and Turbo's pairing brought out existing personality issues rather than building a seamless team. Sydney campaigned hard for Turbo as a partner, but once together, the dynamic man shifted where Turbo took like a more dominant role, depending on who you listen to, which upset Sydney. Just what's your take on what's going on? They don't follow each other on social media. It's definitely a black eye. But even after all this, you hear Sydney on either this last week's episode or the week before that saying just like, oh, I'm so happy with Turbo, yada, 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 in the confessional. So I'm wondering, what is the Tyler take?
So she, we'll just go back even further. A couple weeks ago, that's probably after like episode 8, I think, 8 or 9, once they started kind of moving. But she was on Zach's podcast, Zach Nicholas' podcast, and this is before the pairings, I think, and she kind of talks about she doesn't want to do the show again. Like, it wasn't a good experience for her. She doesn't want to do it, and none of us knew why. It was like, okay, that's weird. Like, you perform really well. If you could do well at this game, you could win money just for being good at things. Like, why not, get paid for that? And now we kind of see this here, and so it's very possessive. We've seen other people talk about this as well. She doesn't look happy. She's not having a good time. This isn't fun.
She does look miserable.
She looks miserable. Now, why she's like, okay, this partnership's great and everything is because she's protected. Nobody's really going to go after her. It was a coin toss why they went in last time. They're going to probably do well, and they're probably going to do well in the final. They're going to make it, and so in my head, that's where this, like, in confessional, you're kind of stuck in this relationship. And it's like, no, just try and see the good in the relationship. Like, we're doing really well. Like, we do well in dailies, and we won an elimination. And, even though it's like the whole time you're like, yeah, but I'm mentally getting broken down every day. I will say this, though. This mental manipulation by Turbo could end up being the biggest factor in them not doing well in the final if they make it, because of a mental checkout for Sydney, or it's also going to make it so that she never returns. And I honestly think that maybe Turbo should be cut off from any partnered seasons, especially seeing this type of behavior. Being on your own, being on a team is different, but go back and rewatch World of Worlds 2 now. Maybe we're all on Jordan's side and he saw something we didn't see, and it's like, you know?
I'm probably not going to be on Jordan's side, but Turbo is known for being really, really having a really intense personality.
Yeah.
And people kind of always let it kind of slide. But I think people are also realizing that a lot of it is really problematic and don't really stand for it and no longer care about it. Turbo isn't the challenge darling he was like when War of the Worlds 1
No.
and 2 was out. So, in all reality, depending on how serious these allegations are, I'm okay with not seeing Turbo again. He already
Yeah,
won
and
one. He got his bread. Cool with me.
when they talk about, like, I always hear people say, like, well, it's his culture, his culture. Okay, but his partner's culture. He doesn't ever incorporate himself into his partner's culture. It can't just be, I'm a man from Turkey, so this is how things are done. Like, it doesn't work in
Yeah,
the
it's
real world. And so, yeah.
100%. Now, speaking about stuff that sucks, I want to talk about this challenge cruise. This so-called challenge cruise was supposed to be a fun fan getaway, meet the stars, play some games, but now it's gone full fire festival. Cast members backing out, fans losing money, and a actual police investigation by Cooks County into the travel agency. So I ask you, is this just bad business or is this flat out fraud, in your opinion?
I think so. It's fraud. It's 100% fraud. And normally it'd be like, well, why would you kind of fall for this? But we have seen this surge over the past couple of years with Challenge Mania doing all these live appearances and meet the cast, and now Zach Nicholas has been doing this as well and everything. And
At
so,
least they do it right.
no, I'm not. I'm not saying anything bad about that. I'm just saying fans have been so attuned and accustomed to, like, oh yeah, we have all these events that we get to go to, so this cruise is probably also super legit. And that's kind of where the trap goes, and that's where people took advantage of, oh, people are going to buy this because they've been buying it for all these other events, they've been doing it through these other people, they're going to buy it for us because we're going to add it. That's a cruise. And so it is pretty fraudulent. It does suck that some of the cast members are backing out. I did see Paulie and Fessy were on a cruise ship. I think I saw they were there still. I think Kara still participated in everything and is also trying to work on helping people. So there is some aspect to it. I don't really know too many full details on, like, why people backed out or what's going on, how good this company is. It's going to be interesting to see how it develops with the police investigation as well. I feel for people that got scammed, 100%. You never want that to happen to anybody, especially people that work hard for their money to do the things that they want to do, and they chose to take their money and do this. So it sucks for them.
100% fraud, criminal fraud. And this person should be jailed, beat up, and punched in the face really, really hard. Um, and I do have empathy for the people who were scammed and people gave their hard earned money. This cruise took place out of Florida. So I was just like, oh, you know what? I think I'm like, man, maybe this might be some cool to go to. Now, I've never been interested in going on a cruise at all, ever.
Me either.
My wife wants to go on a cruise, so eventually we're going to have to go on a cruise at some point. And I'm going to be miserable while I do it and complain about the whole time, but make sure she has fun. But I wanted to look into it because I was just like, all right, maybe two birds, one stone. It's a cruise, there's challenges here. Some of them we follow each other and stuff and had interactions. We've interviewed Paulie and Carver twice. I was just like,
Right.
this might be, something to go. Then I looked at the price. The price was high, but I was able to do it. I think it's like $2,300 or something for like
Yeah.
just to get in. Um, and so I was just like, all right, might seem a thing. Then I looked up the people who was booking it. I believe his name was Michael Gibson. He's done this shit before
That's
with a
what I've
Big Brother
heard.
cruise. And apparently there's one or two other events that he was supposed to have done where this kind of stuff happened before. So I'm just like, well, for that I'm out. And I never thought about that cruise again until all of this stuff started coming out after a couple of days ago. And I'm just like, yo, did nobody like Google this guy at all? Because it took me 10 seconds to find out what I was.
Yeah.
And I don't say that to make the people who went feel bad or dumb or anything like that. I get it. It super sucks. This is fraud. That guy should get his ass beat.
I think we just live in a day of where information is so easily accessible to you at all options. Is that anytime you do anything that is like a big thing, like a big purchase, a big risk, something out of the ordinary, I think you should do a little research into it just to kind of find those details and just to see like have they ever done this before? Like that's what first I would do that just as a not even like is this legit, but like is it even fun? Like, what was the last one they did? What did you even get to do? Do you just
Or
sit there
safe,
and maybe you walk into them or,
or
yeah,
safe. There's events that I didn't go to because I was just like, maybe I don't want to be over there at 1 o'clock in the morning.
yeah,
Or, you know, or hey, we're having this event or whatever. And it's just like, well, I know what kind of people you run with. So this may not be, just,
right.
and I'm not blaming the fans at
Not
all.
at all. No, no,
It's
no.
not their fault. Um, but I hate the thing about challenge fans is we're not the biggest fan base in the world, but we are dedicated
Yeah.
and we love this. And the greatest thing about our community is we put money back into it. It's
Yeah,
why
it's,
I
yeah,
love the challenge fandom. I'm glad that the stand culture subsided over the past couple of years,
yeah.
which has been great. But let's not lie, when the whole stands thing, it was Twitter was really really fun when this was happening.
I can
Um,
see that, yeah. But we're also in a place of like, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, but like, I mean, MTV themselves and Ryan Murray and everything, these guys don't really care if all this extra stuff happens that helps grow their show.
they don't.
MTV is already on a floating, a life vest out in the ocean right now, it seems. And even stuff like us, like a video is getting demonetized and people like taking stuff down. And I've seen other content creators and everything. So it's like it is the weirdest thing because this is the only community that is that like loyal and like it's like Survivor and Big Brother. Their fandoms are kind of the same. We're all in the same bubble. And so
No,
yeah, it kind of sucks. People are very loyal, support each other. But then again, at the end of the day, like I said, the people at the top of the challenge, they don't give a shit about any of this stuff. That's how I feel. Like
no,
the crew stuff happens. I haven't seen any statement saying, we're gonna put on an MTV challenge exclusive thing for anybody that was there. All you got to do is get yourself here. You don't have to pay to get in the event. We're gonna have some fun. Like you could do
you
that.
you hit that. First off, why is it not any kind of reality TV convention set up by them using these properties? Here goes the thing. Nothing makes me want to create. Nothing gets me to want to stop making content about this more than Paramount and MTV.
Yeah, like why is there not a reality con? There's Comic Con. There's everything else. Like reality con. Wouldn't that be good? Wouldn't that be
Eh,
something you could get all walks of life?
exactly, 100%. Man, we should have came up with this when we were children, when we were
Yeah.
7 and 8 years old. We could have did this. All right. I want to move on to today's daily. Today's daily was called Dirty Drifter. How much fun did you have watching this chaos unfold? And what stood out to you the most? The crashes, the meltdowns, or somebody actually pulling off a clutch move at the end?
So let's talk about the aspect of before we get here. Now the other side is going well. As long as we don't win and we don't lose, we can control the vote, and we just got to hope the other side isn't thinking this. And it's like you guys are episodes behind, like votes behind. They've been doing
Right.
this for weeks, like, and it just kind of shows the difference in gameplay level, like Theo's gameplay level, and we can credit anybody else in his alliance too. But Theo's just the voice of it all is like up here compared to like Nani, Ashley, Michaela. Like, is this the only reason these guys are doing well in the other rooms or whatever is because they have this large alliance. And but then we already see that they're trying to pick each other apart. So let's get into this daily where everybody's like, well, we don't want to win. And I love that the challenge was like, all right, we're going to put some timed event that you're not going to know if you're ahead of this person or this person because we know what you're going to do. And so I think, because you talked about at the beginning of the show, of people being able to kind of rig a challenge and not, you know what I mean? Like there's no like consistency, honor. It's like you don't want to win, don't want to lose. But then you have dailies like this where it's like you don't know. You clearly can't tell. There's time added, time subtracted. Now let's get on to the daily. Sorry, I kind of ranted. Dirty Drifter, I thought it was good. It was a good partner thing where each person had to kind of do a difficult task. Kind of scary at first when we see Olivia roll. Mind you, she is pregnant at this time. Nobody is
I
talking
was thinking,
about this.
I was thinking the same thing. But also, in their defense, a little bit nobody knew this.
Well, nobody knew, but like, yeah, she 100%, I believe, got pregnant in the challenge. Here we go. We see we're 15 episodes in. They've been there for 3 months. What do you think they're not going to have baby? Like,
Oh, that's a good point. Maybe it happened during the filming.
I think it happened while they were there. That's the difference. I think when other people have been pulled, because there's been 2 instances where women have been pulled because they're pregnant. I
Hmm.
think that they got pregnant before they got there, and then through all the weeks and everything, it was like, oh yeah, by the way, you are. We just started the game. You're out. Because it happened to Natalie Anderson in Double Agents, and then it happened to Casey on All Stars 2, where Kahada just got sent home for no reason, and we didn't see him ever again. But Olivia rolls this vehicle, and she is more than likely pregnant at this time. And it just kind of adds the scariness of us on hindsight watching, knowing this, and it's like, oh my gosh. And so, yeah, what I love to see out of this whole thing was how cool it was that people could roll, and it wasn't just you'll get your minus 230, and you actually had to work for it. It looked difficult. Anissa stepped up and didn't have Jake pulling the chains. She pulled the change, which ended up being a bad decision for them, but
It took her 3 to 5 business days to get him off, though.
yeah. And then we see Theo get told multiple times and then get DQ'd. I see a lot of fans freaking out online about this. Like, why did he get 5 warnings? Why didn't you just DQ him right away? And it's like, and then we see Michaela like laughing about it. And it's like, okay, but you guys all cheated on the mini final.
True, but I bet you Michaela feels very vindicated because her and Olivia got into it. She said, and they've said this in the confessionals, that Theo has been kind of cheating all season long, doing little shit like this. And I think this is just a blatant way that they're showing us. So I think Michaela feels super vindicated. And let's be serious, when it comes to the challenge, you said it before. Either you can ask permission or you can ask for permission or forgiveness or something
Forgiveness,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah. So I don't mind people trying to little slick shit. I didn't like the fact that TJ had to tell you 4 or 5 times to stop. You were doing a little bit too much. It almost seemed intentional at that point.
It did. That's my thought is that because this also goes back to the other team saying, oh, we're just going to wait to finish and make sure one of them gets first and last, where you don't know the times. To me, in my head, if I'm Theo, I just saw a couple teams complete the whole drive, get 250, 230 knocked off their time. I saw Olivia and Will only get 30 seconds knocked off their time, and she rolled. So in my head, Olivia's in last place, and I can't have that if I'm Theo. I need to protect her. So I'm going to DQ, so then we get last place. Because eventually, as soon as TJ goes, if you touch it again, you're disqualified. He grabs it immediately because he wants to be disqualified. Nobody's going to say this. We're not going to talk. Nobody's going to say this except for us. But 100%, I think he threw that because he was worried that Olivia was in last place. And then they end up winning, so it screwed him over.
I 100% agree with you. I think you're right. I think he did that on purpose to make sure he gets thrown in instead of Olivia. I also give him credit that he was very confident. Like, whoever you throw in against me, I can beat them. Right now, after today's episode, Theo is 9-2 in elimination records. I think for anybody,
He's lost to Jordan and Johnny Bananas. Yeah.
the pretty much the Jordan and Kobe of the challenge.
Yeah.
One hell of a run he's on. But dude, you gotta get some friends, man. Or at least better friends than the one you have now. But I've really enjoyed the daily. I thought it was fun. A lot of great moments.
I don't think he cares about having friends because remember in World of Worlds 2, he had all these friends and they all backstabbed him. So I think he's like, you know what? I would rather get stabbed by people that are in the front than people that are behind me.
He still came in second too. All right.
No, not that one. Not that one.
Which one
That
did you say?
War of the Worlds 2. When it
War
was
of the
Team
Worlds 2.
K
Yeah.
and they kept sending him in because Rogan was afraid of how good he was. And so was
All right.
Joss.
Now we touched on this earlier about the format. And I'm watching the season, I gotta say, what's the point of even winning these dailies anymore? The format doesn't seem to reward the winners at all. Is this bad game design, or do you think the players are really comfortable coasting?
I think players are really comfortable coasting. I don't think, but this is like the first episode that we've seen where teams were like, we don't want to win. Because before that, we even saw where like Justin and Nani and Cedric and Michaela are like so happy to like win. And it's like, you don't even realize you just lost a vote. It's 50-50. I think it's hard to like complain just because in the past, yeah, you'd get first place and then you just get to send whoever you want in because you were better at holding on a rope than they were. Something like that. You could eat better than they could. So the luck of the draw, you get to send somebody home. I kind of like how it is just because you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can be safe or you can have your vote. Like you can't have both. And so with that being said, I'm okay with this of now what I would like is that if maybe there's a way that you could do it where they could just like if there was still some benefit where you could save a team, that's the only thing I would say is like if you want to give them more power, go back to what we did early in the season where it's like, okay, who would you like to save that can't be voted on today? Okay, there we go. Now there's a little more winning saves two teams.
I did like that. Now, when it comes to the format, I also believe that the players are comfortable coasting, but I think that's because it is bad game design.
Yeah.
I think when they designed this format, they didn't even consider that winning won't be incentivized enough. And overlooking that is why we're getting the format today, which I do believe works, which I do believe is entertaining, but I think it's a lot less fulfilling and why it just doesn't kind of feel right. And I'm also okay with that because sometimes this unfairness or formats that we don't completely agree with can make great seasons. And I do think it's doing its job enough to I think it's doing its job enough to make us enjoy it. But I kind of get why people aren't too thrilled.
But like this format, think of how great this would have been. Let's just say we go back and let's say Ashley and Leo don't go home, and America and Leroy and Dee and Derek. Let's say none of those teams go home, but like Anissa, Jake, Adrian, Theo, they're gone, and like just Olivia's by herself. Just hear it with me for a second. And now they just won this daily. Well, everybody else that can vote is in the same alliance. Now it kind of makes it cool because now they're not saying a name. You guys all have to say a name. Like there is a formula for this to benefit an underdog really well. But it does have a chance to kind of get boring. But then again, we saw the last one with the last week where it's like, we're going to have a coin toss and we're going to have to figure it out. I liked it.
I'm not complaining. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I think it works. I think it works. I just think that we feel a little bad because it works. Because the winners aren't really incentivized. Herm Edwards keeps replaying in my head, you play to win the game.
Yeah.
So I keep seeing that. And of course, being competitors and being a competitive kind of sport, that's what we expect. That's what we want. But it's okay to change it up.
The only other way I think that this could work in some manner is maybe it's like Rivals 3. Remember how they had to draw the skulls, the white skulls,
Mm-hmm.
black skulls? Maybe like after the vote, the winning team gets to nominate another team to have to draw skulls or something. And then it's like, okay, that team that got last is already in, and they're either going to face the winner's pick or the house's pick. And at that point, now it's like kind of chance, but it's kind of power. We can't always have a free agents. Like free agents is the best format. It's like you vote one of the people that didn't win in, and then the next person is whoever finished in the bottom tier. And that way it's performance based in addition.
So, listen, from what I understand, the Challenge 42 is going to film next February, and they're only filming for 7 weeks.
Oh, thank God.
If this is supposed to be as important as everybody's saying that it is, dude, free agents too.
I
Free
mean,
agents too. But
yeah.
a better segue into that, rewind that. With all of these streaming shakeups and budget cuts going on, the challenge actually might be on the chopping block after 41 flagship seasons and like a dozen spinoffs, which is wild. So tell me, what production got to do to keep this alive? Do they got to shake up the format? Do they got to find and bring back some more of the legends? Maybe it's time to do what you got to do to bring a Koru and Evelyn back. Or do they have to finally figure out how to make people care again? And by people, I don't mean the challenge diehards. We watch no matter how bad Bunham and Murray pisses us off.
I I don't think anything's happening to the challenge at all. I don't think you make it 41 seasons, having a 42 right around the horizon, plus a bunch of spin-offs. Like we're over 50 total seasons without being set up for success to continue going. Survivor's still going. Big Brother's still going. Big Brother is so overdrawn and watered down where it's 5 days a week and 10 hours, and they're still going. You
They're
know,
on they're on network TV though.
I
This is
get it. So what I'm saying is that the challenge, I don't think will die. Maybe their relationship with MTV could end, but somebody will see the challenge and they will take it.
so
Because
you're not
even,
worried.
huh?
You're not worried then.
No, I'm not worried because I think at the
Because
end of
Johnny
the day,
Bananas seemed worried. Like he
he's
was just like, this next upcoming season is so important because it's going to like pretty much determine the future.
I think he's worried because right now he is in that tier one of people you want on your show. Where let's say it gets bought out by somebody, and
Okay.
they're not a big Johnny Bananas person. Well, now his cash cow kind of goes away a little bit. Where if he's not always getting the call, where maybe they're like, you know what? We are going to start brand new and we are not going to have any former contestants going forward because we're going to create our brand new version of the challenge and we're going to build it back up how it used to be. Like that could be a real thought. So all these vets could be scared. Now, is that likely? Probably not because Johnny Bananas brings in so much viewership just
Like you said,
himself.
he is the challenge.
He really is there are certain people like as much as everybody wants to dog it, like why is season 39 not highly viewed by fans? Because there's no vets really that we get to see. Like it's not as we don't have these names that we could attach to, and so yeah, that's where I think. But overall, I think if anything's going to happen to the challenge, I think maybe MTV's iteration of it and its name attached to it might just get released. Bynum Murray might just get bought out by somebody or released from it. Who knows? But I think it is too successful. It does too well weekly to just be like thrown away and never have it happen again. There's new competition shows all the time. And you're telling me that like Disney could just buy the challenge and be like, we're going to put it on ESPN. They
Well,
would do
Squid
it.
Game, the challenge is supposed to be super popular. I've never watched it, but it's supposed to be super popular, and they have like 300 people competing or something crazy like
Well, and
that.
they have people, yeah, but I mean, they have people that are, yeah, they have people that are not fully like in shape and everything. It's just like anybody could be it. It's not just about being good athletes. It's just about
The
regular
challenge
people.
used to be like that too, so
I mean, kind of, but like those people would get weeded out early. Like the people that couldn't compete, it used to be, you're not good at this game, you got to go. Like that's how it used to be. Because I mean, even if you go back to like older seasons, the people that are in the finals, it's not like you're the only example we have is like Big Easy in Gauntlet 3. But
see
that's
how that turned
because the rookies team was just so historically bad. They won like 3 dailies that whole season, and one was thrown. So, yeah. But I think MTV's fine. Sorry, I think the challenge is fine. I think making the next season seem super important is the job of the contestants on the show. That is the role. We talked about this when a couple seasons ago, right? Wasn't it like Corey is like, it's not my job to do all this stuff and everything, not to promote this,
with
whatever.
the promotions.
And then Wes came out and was like, yes, it is. That's the whole point. You're getting paid to be on the show. You should want the show to be as successful as possible. So,
It's part of the job. That's a very astute observation. Sometimes I forget that you're actually kind of smart.
just the things that don't matter in the real world. That's all. I
All
can't
right.
apply this to money.
All right. Let's go ahead and let's find out where's the power ranking. I know we took a couple of weeks off. Sorry, guys. But where do these challengers line up?
We got 6 teams left, so let's just put them all in here. All
Okay.
right. At honorable mention, the 6th spot doesn't quite crack the top 5. Not in Tyler's top 5. Sydney and Turbo. I just don't think their performance is adding up. I mean, when the last time they haven't won a daily since they've been partners, if I'm correct. They do okay in some things, but they're not as great as everybody thinks. I think they're going to be a big target pretty soon. The closer you get to the final, the bigger threats kind of go in. Also, we're seeing this like separation, mentally from her and kind of checking out. And I think Turbo's making some bad deals. Where right now he has a deal with Jeremy and Cedric, But where does that put Nani and Justin? Because I don't think he views Justin as a competitor, so he doesn't want Justin. You know what I mean? So
That means you want 80% of the rest of the cast to be in the final with you. And let me tell
yeah,
you something, that's not, it's not
yeah.
impossible, but that's going to be pretty hard to pull off.
Number 5 is Adrian and Theo. I know they just won their 4th elimination, but they also got DQ'd in the daily. They were there by default. They're constantly a target. They've been in 4 of the last 6 eliminations.
It is quite
And
the opposite of having power. And he
and
tried
the
to pull a power move with Nani, and it didn't work.
and the only reason that they only missed 2 of those is because of a coin toss and because he convinced Gabe to stake a claim. Like if those 2 things don't happen, Theo's in 6 consecutive eliminations here.
But also, I'm trying to figure out how Sydney and Turbo is going to be behind them when it comes to power ranking. Theo has the absolute least amount of power in the game. You're on a losing alliance. You keep getting thrown in. You're getting DQ from eliminations. He should be the honorable mention. Dishonorable mention, if
But
that.
they
Dishonorable.
but they still won an elimination, their 4th elimination. I think that holds some
That's not
weight.
power. That's survival.
I mean, they have directly sent
You can
4
just say,
teams home.
this is what you just say, like, you know what? You're actually right. I was
You do
actually
bring up
wrong.
good points. You do bring up good
Bring
points,
up
but the
great
power is their performance. So let's go to 4. And also, I'm taking into fact other weeks too. Number 4 is Nani
Fair
and
enough.
Justin. They won through 3 episodes ago. They got second on this one, second on the one before that. So they've placed top 3 the past 3 dailies.
Okay, real quick. Tell me if I'm wrong, but Michaela and Cedric is right above them.
You are
Right or
wrong.
wrong? Ah, okay.
You're,
I'm going to say, because their status is kind of the same. I think Michaela is moving things a little bit more or trying to, like, kind of doing it slick. But Nani and Justin aren't really targets. Nobody really wants
no.
them out. I think that nobody really views them as a super big threat. I think Justin is still being, um, I don't.
Underestimated.
Thank you. That was the word. I believe he's still underestimated, and Nani has actually been doing her thing this season. She looks great, and she got a little thing with Will going on, which might pay off later on.
Yeah, and number 3 is Aviv and Jeremy. I think we're starting to see some cracks. We didn't even talk about this whole everybody dogging on Aviv and everything.
I was going to, and then I already seen we've been on this for 40 minutes. I'm just like, well,
Yeah.
fuck Aviv.
I will just say right now is the reason why they're at number 3 and not higher where they have been historically with this power ranking is the fact that there are cracks right now because they think that she had fake tears. Like Michaela and Cedric are kind of heartless, it feels like, in this game. They don't like they're such in game mode that they don't understand that somebody else could have a relationship with somebody else and like care for another person. Like they're just like it's a game. So it's gonna end up hurting Aviv and Jeremy, I feel like.
I don't. Okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting soft in my old age. I don't feel like Aviv was faking. I think she
I don't think she
genuinely
was
kind of
either.
feels this way too. And
Yeah.
I actually have a little bit of empathy for Aviv because I think she really does have a lot of love for these people, and she's tied up in this game, which is going to cause harm and discomfort for them. And I think she dislikes it. That's the signs of being a really empathetic, like, person, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, and it's like they're getting comments made about them, like, "Oh, I don't know if I trust Jeremy. I don't know if I trust Aviv and everything." It's like she just voted in Anissa, like that. You won it. She just did it. She said she would do it as soon as she had to, and she did it.
And you're gonna penalize her for not feeling great about it. I don't know.
Yeah,
It does come off as really, really heartless. And these are things that I've always been fine with, especially in the challenge house. But I guess as I grow older, I'm not impressed by it as much.
yeah. So number 2, we have Olivia and Will. Just won this daily. Now she did lose her number 2. However, I think that Olivia and Will match up really well with anybody in an elimination, and I don't think they're going to want to send them in there. I even think that if like they don't win and Theo and Adrian lose, that they try and put them against each other, I think Theo would throw his game away so Olivia could win. Like, I don't see a way that Olivia doesn't make it to top 5 here. And I almost don't see a way that she doesn't make the final. Like, she's been on our screen too much. She's been doing too well on all the stuff. She's won an elimination. She's not even having her name said right now. It makes me think she's in the final. Like, the people that we're not hearing about, like, nobody's talking about Michaela and Cedric, who are my number 1 as well. We'll talk to them in a second.
Right.
It makes me think they're going to be in the final because people aren't talking about them as options. It's not even like a, hey, down the road, we got to get them. It's
Exactly. But here's another thing. Not only are they not a super big target right now, I feel like even against Theo and Adrian, I feel like Olivia and Will has the ability to beat any of these teams in
yeah,
elimination. Also, they can they can beat all of these teams in
yeah,
a final too.
I think so.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Michaela and Cedric is dangerous. So is Turbo and Sydney. I love this part of the game because there's absolutely no fluff left. There's
Right
no
now,
fluff here.
what's really nice is that as long as Aviv and Jeremy or Sydney and Turbo don't win, we're getting two brand new winners. Right now, we have a two-thirds
Mm,
chance to get two new winners, which is something we struggle with on this show. Because I know people are always like, let's do a champions versus contenders. We don't have enough female champions. Like, we just don't
right.
that we can use. Number one, Michaela and Cedric, who might very well be the next set of champions here. Consistently performing well, controlling the vote, not having to go into elimination. Don't even seem like in that group of four, she is clearly up here, and it goes Turbo, Nani, and Aviv for the other vets. Like they are the next three that are going to get targeted. I haven't seen Theo and Adrian or Olivia and Will even mention let's put in Michaela and Cedric. It's not even a thought. So to
That's wild.
me, they're so like they're just as safe as Olivia and Will to me. I think right now, if I had to lock in who I think is going to make the final, Michaela, Cedric, Olivia, Will, those two teams, I have them in. Bearing any, I don't even know who would stake a claim at this point, unless
No,
Adrian wants to stake a claim. That's the only way I could see it to get away from Theo because she's mad at him. But otherwise, I
I
don't
don't see
see
that
anybody
happening.
else.
No, absolutely not. And it's the funny thing is we do need more new champions.
Hmm.
And I don't think it's because like, oh, these new people are just so terrible. That's why we don't have them. There's an easy fix to this. Easy fix. Do another season, and put together a 5-person team.
Yeah.
5-person team where at least 2 to 3 are women. And here's the funny thing is you don't even have to go super crazy. You could find a reason, probably not seasons, but almost kind of like an Everest thing with a team, and put in it. I would love to see how
Or
a team final would look like nowadays.
what if they had a team that was like you had one challenger, you had one Big Brother, one Survivor, and then one
Would love that.
random show? Wouldn't
Would
that be?
love
And
that.
each team
You wouldn't
had
even need
one
a
of
random
those.
show. We got enough from the Amazing Race, and we got enough from Love Island.
What's I'm saying? Like you could pick, but it could just be like each team has a member that originated from a different show, and there's four of you, and you because that way it's not like oh the challengers got to stick together, Big Brothers got to stick together. You have to work together with other shows, and you could have six teams like that. You could have 24 people, and it'd be great. But yeah, that's the way the power rankings shake out as we hit the final six. Either we are an episode away from the final, or we're two. If we're one, I'll be happier.
You know,
But yeah,
I also got another plan. Another great idea for another season. Captains, man. Yo,
yep.
bring in Bananas West, Jordan, CT, Carl, Laurel, and Tori. 7 people. You get to pick 3, 4 people, and that's your team, and everybody's
Mhm.
fighting to bring it. It'd be great. Almost kind of like Cutthroat.
Yep.
It'd be great.
Yeah.
But great episode, great season so far. We're happy to be back. Tyler, my wife says hello. How are you doing? Hope you're doing
Out.
good. He says hi. All right. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at LWC Podcast. Follow us on Facebook and TikTok at Love Word Challenges. And make sure you listen to Love Word Challenges podcast on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app. Just so you know, next week is my birthday. One word, Cash App. That's going to do it for us. Once again, I am MTV Malik. He is Tyler Loudon. This is Love War Challenges. Peace.
We